it's very interesting. Nikola Jokic set an NBA Finals record, actually a postseason record, for the most points, rebounds, and assists in a single postseason, which is absolutely ridiculous from a guy who we both think doesn't really look like an athlete, but his efficiency and his effectiveness on the Nuggets,
his intelligence,
is unmatched in the NBA. There is right now, I think, no player comp to Nikola Jokic.
I agree.
So I want to know, as of right now, is Nikola Jokic the best player in the NBA?
Yes.
By how much?
By quite a bit. Let me put it to you this way.
Go for it.
Would the Celtics trade Jason Tatum for Jokic?
Not a chance.
You don't think so?
No.
I think they would in a heartbeat. No. Let me finish. Would Philadelphia trade Joel Embiid for Nikola Jokic?
Long shot. Yeah.
I'd say they would.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Yeah.
Would the Bucks trade Giannis for Nikola Jokic?
I think that's close, but I think yes.
I think they would too.
I would. Yeah.
And do you think that anybody on the Suns would be traded for Nikola Jokic? Either Kevin Durant or Booker. Either one of those guys.
I don't think KD would.
You don't think so?
I don't think KD would.
I do. I think so. He's a lot younger, and he's a force. He's unstoppable. He's amazing. His basketball IQ. He's like a point center. It's unbelievable. The way he dishes the ball around and gets other people are open. He's a master. I really think I was very impressed watching him play. And the team around him is not that great, right? We talked about that just a few minutes ago, right? Yeah. So I do think he's the best player, and I think he's separated himself from the rest of the pack by quite a bit in this final series. And I think any team would trade their best player for him. Do you think the Warriors would trade Stephen Curry for him?
That is a guy I do not think they would trade.
You don't think so?
Because, here, the Jason Tatum thing, I'm going to say I mistook that. I thought you said if Jokic is available, yes, I think they would. But I'm talking about like a trade straight up. No, I don't think so. I don't think the Celtics would be like, hey, would you say? I think the Nuggets would just hang up the phone if the Celtics like, yo,
no,
Jason
I'm
Tatum?
just saying if he was, I'm just saying would the Celtics trade Jason Tatum if Jokic was available?
Yeah,
I do think they would. I think they would.
I think there's a very small list of teams that would not pick up the phone. I think it would be the Warriors and Steph Curry because Curry is the Warriors culture. Even KD, who outperformed Curry in each of those finals.
He's old. He's getting old.
I understand that, but Curry is literally who the Warriors are. When KD went there and was the number one player on that team, KD left because it was still Steph's team. He wasn't getting the recognition that KD was hoping that he would get. It was still Stephen Curry's team. The KD situation, they spent way too much to get KD. They spent so much, and just trading him away would literally not fix any of their problems. I will say this, though. The Giannis thing is probably the closest because people say, even though Embiid won the MVP this year and Jokic won the two prior,
I think Jokic got gypped, actually. He should have won the MVP.
You could argue that's true, and I think right now we saw that is true, that he was the best player in the NBA. But even though other players have won MVP, people still thought, talent-wise, Giannis is the best player in the NBA. But honestly, Nikola Jokic for 3 straight years is arguably the best player in the NBA. And I think this year, inarguable, he was the best player. Because what Nikola Jokic is doing throughout his career, especially recently, there is no player comp in the NBA right now that has the skill set to match, to beat, or is even relatively near Nikola Jokic's.
The other players in the NBA are jealous of him. And I'll tell, and this is the reason why I say it. In the All-Star game, they had that crazy draft that they did. He was the last player drafted.
Here's the thing. He got up.
I think he was like shocked.
Himself.
I think he was shocked by that. He had this funny look on his face when he was the last one drafted, and that was like a diss of him. And it was not warranted. And I think it's because the other players are jealous of him.
Well, you remember he got up and drafted himself. He walked over onto LeBron's side. LeBron just laughed it off and said, yeah, I'll pick Nikola Jokic, the Joker.
But it was the last pick.
He was the last pick. He just got up. He didn't even wait for his name to be called. He just got up and walked over to LeBron's side.
That's where he was going to have to go because he's the only player left.
It was bad. But think about it. Nikola Jokic this season Like, compare him to Giannis, right? Giannis, people say, is the best player in the NBA. Giannis has he used to be able to shoot pretty good jump shots. He can't do that anymore. He is a horrible free throw shooter, maybe a little bit of an understatement. He has like Shaq level free throw shooting. It is terrible. We saw him miss 12, 13 free throws in game 5. It was horrible. It was absolutely abysmal to watch that. He's had a free throw issue for a number of years now. He had a lot of games where he would get free throw, the penalty on the free throw line for taking too long, a violation. He would take the full 10, 12 seconds or however long it is for a free throw, and he would end up missing it anyway. Nikola Jokic, right now, I have the number in front of me, is an 82% free throw shooter. He's near 40% three-point shooter. He's a 63% shooter from the floor, and he basically had a triple-double this year. 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 9.8 assists. I'll round that up to 10. For the past 2 seasons, for the past 3 seasons, he has been near a walking triple-double.
Every game.
Basically every game. And there was a streak the Nuggets had where they won 25 consecutive games when Jokic scores a triple-double.
Yeah.
And I think that ended up being like 28 and 4 or something like that. So some
and
absurd number.
He's such a smart player, too.
Yeah.
He's so smart. And his shot, again, we say he doesn't look like much of an athlete or much of a basketball player, but his shot goes in. And he is...
He has a Dirk-style shot where he goes all the way to the back of his head and just flicks it, and it's some rainbow shot right through. And he gets the weirdest touches when the ball hits the rim. It hits the rim and then just rolls forward. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The amount of the ball hits the rim and just goes around and then falls in for Jokic is more than I've seen of any other player, truthfully. Yeah. But think about what Jokic is doing. Jokic right now has the passing skills of a Magic Johnson, the shooting ability near of a Steph Curry, but not the same volume, but the same sort of the same percentage of a Steph Curry. Yeah. The total shooting percentage is probably the best right now in the NBA. What he's doing.
He's one of the best rebounders in the league.
One of the best rebounders in the league. And like you said, his basketball IQ is incredible.
Assists are as high as anybody too.
He's
a point center. Never happened before.
Well, you could say,
maybe Magic Johnson.
Right? He was more of a forward. He was 6'9", 6'10".
And when they first won the championship in the last game in Philadelphia, he played center.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And he had a huge game that really showed that he could play any position.
Right.
Yeah. Separated him from a lot of people at that point in time. I think Jokic just separated himself from the pack by quite a wide margin here with this performance in this playoffs. I think so throughout his career, really. Yeah. Now, the last 3 years, anyway. I don't know why he didn't get the MVP this year. Just tired of giving it to him, I guess.
Could be. And there's only 2 players that have won 3 straight, if I'm not mistaken, or at least in the past 30 years or something like that. It's been a couple players that have won 3 straight. But truthfully, go down the league. Who can do the same thing
nobody,
or the same production or better than
There's
Jokic? Nobody. Sometimes guards
not many other teams. Nobody other team that I know of designs their offense around a player like they do around Jokic. There really isn't another team that does it like that. But that's because he's such a special player.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible to see, and just the fact that he's a 6'11" center who could go up and down the court. Now, it may take him a little while, but he gets there. He could take the ball, go up against anybody, create incredible passes, create a tremendous spacing. Even with a defender right in his face, could do his little Dirk shot without the major kickback, and he could drain a 3 from him basically anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, there's something to be said about whether or not he's trusted in the clutch, because it is Jamal Murray taking those shots. However, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Because what Nikola Jokic has been doing is incredible. I mean, think about it. Once again, he set an NBA postseason record with the most points, assists, and rebounds. Think about the other players think about any player in the NBA. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic, Kareem, Jordan, any one of these all-time greats, they don't have this record. Nikola Jokic set this record now. And what he did was incredible. Now, we could say it's against the 8th seed Heat or whatever, but they're there for a reason. They were there for a reason.
I think the Heat they earned the right to play in the finals.
I agree with you there.
I don't think anyone was going to beat the Nuggets. I really don't.
This season, I do not think so. The way Jokic played this year, the way this team played in the playoffs, going through steamrolling basically every team. It took 70+ per combined performance from KD and Booker to win their 2 home games for them to at least have a chance in the series, because it looked like it would have been a sweep. Going through the Timberwolves, sweeping the Lakers, although the Lakers honestly had the best shot. Basically, all 4 games were close, like within probably 5-6 points, and the Lakers just couldn't get it done. But they breezed through the playoffs, and against the Heat, beat them in 5.
Basically did breeze through the playoffs, right?
No, it was incredible to watch. And you know what, Jokic, Finals MVP, well deserved. Next season, we'll see if he can keep it up. I fully expect him to be at the same numbers this year. I expect the Nuggets to be a top 3 seed at least. We'll see what happens. But I think right now, I do not think it should be an argument whether or not Jokic is the best player in the NBA. And that shouldn't be strictly because he won the finals and won finals MVP. It's strictly because of his performance and how he played in the playoffs and throughout the regular season. Because he was a top player in both in defensive stats and offensive stats. In the playoffs, once again, set a record. I mean, what he's done throughout this year is incredible. So to say Giannis has flaws in his game, Giannis is an interior player. Yes, he can move up and down the court quickly at a center position.
The intensity gets to him at times. He can't hit free throws.
No, absolutely.
Giannis, right?
That's a major flaw in his game. He's also a sub 30% 3-point shooter. So he can't shoot threes. His jump shot isn't that good. He's mainly an interior player. Yeah. He is a modern day Shaq. He's a much more in shape version of Shaq.
You think the Lakers would trade LeBron and Davis to Denver for Jokic?
No, I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think
they would.
LeBron
they would trade both those guys. Yeah.
LeBron himself would garner a first-round pick and a couple players. Anthony Davis would probably get a first-round pick and more players. I don't think they'd be able to get it done. I really don't.
I think it would happen.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But I think it should not be an argument. Jokic is clearly the best player in the NBA right now and should be, without discussion, heading into next year. But we'll see. Obviously, people say Giannis, Embiid, whoever, but Jokic deservingly is
How can they?
Player.
I mean, those guys have never won a championship.
You get biased people here and there. You got people who, maybe voted Embiid for MVP and still think that, but, I think it should be, without question, Jokic is the best player in the NBA right now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.